Well, Kevin, first of all, congratulations. The #1 show on television. When did you know the magnitude of what Yellowstone has become? Was there a moment for you where you realized, wow?
You know, I have people come up to me a lot, and one of the most satisfying things to me is that when they maybe talk about a favorite thing, they don't always land on the same thing. I feel like I'd really not like my career so much if it was always one thing. And so sometimes it ranges between, 10 movies. I don't know what's gonna come out of somebody's mouth. So that's always been really satisfying. But this show has really hit a nerve with a lot of people. It's something to go to. I don't measure at all against the things I've done. I've only been in television twice. Once was Hatfield and McCoy's, and that had a tremendous reception. And this has had the same thing, but this has had a growing thing. It's, I think a lot of people want to say what Beth gets to say. A lot of people want to get to do what Rip gets to do. And I think a lot of people wish they could say some of the things I say when it seems like there's a lot on the line. It's like sometimes the things I get to say come out really, they're kind of smart things. Taylor's written some smart dialogue to it. And usually greatest majority of us, when we get confronted with issues like that, we're driving home going, why didn't I say that? When it was at its most critical. But in Yellowstone, a lot of times we're saying a thing that I think a lot of people would like to say.
You're a good man, Casey. Sometimes good men have to do real bad things.
You mentioned tremendous reception. We loved seeing the cast at the SAG Awards and receiving that overdue love. Now there's a lot of Emmys buzz surrounding the show. What would that recognition mean to you?
We've been doing the same work from the first season, and I think that's #1 been really important to me. Recognition comes, just keep doing. The writing has to stay strong, keep doing what we're doing. And then people catch up to you in your life because you can do a lot of things to get noticed or whatever. But if you're kind of trying to be relevant in your own life, it means you have to be doing the things that you feel like are important to you. If the world gets in sync with what you like, how great is that? But if you're always chasing an idea that's already working and trying to throw a spin on it, there's a business to that. And that's done all the time. And there's nothing really, really wrong with it. But it's not the way I can conduct myself. When I found Yellowstone, it hadn't been made. I liked the story. I thought we could do this. So the idea that it's good, that doesn't surprise me at all. The idea that it blew up, that's something you can't always predict.
Now here we are heading into season 5. Each season we're introduced to someone who wants to take the Duttons down. Who is that someone this season?
The issues in America have always been kind of over land. From the moment people started moving across this continent, it was who could get it, who was tough enough to hold on to it. This thing orchestrates itself around that idea. This is a 5-generation family. That's not a made-up thing that happens. Harvesting cattle, that's not made up. That work is being done every day in America. But the issues of the land, what's going to happen when this guy passes? Are his children going to want this? Are the laws that are in place right now going to divide up the ranch because they can't pay the taxes? And then there's environmentalists that have issues with somebody who seems to have so much. There's people who want to make profit on the land, who want to build airports and really beautiful places. For all the fun the language is, for all the exciting moments that, we know really stretch the boundaries, because most of us would be in jail by this time. They would figure out that I had killed people. There is an element of that's something that's very current, and that is the pressure of land. How people come after it, whether it be environmentalists, whether it be politicians, whether it be people that just think that somebody just has too much. And then the reality of what happens when you want to pass something that's been in your life, your whole life, and you realize that your children won't be able to afford to pay the taxes, inheritance. And what you've had is going to break into 1,000 pieces.
So the Duttons are fighting for the land once again.
They are, in a much different way, which is frustrating for John Dutton. I think his father, his grandfather, his great-grandfather, those people, they were able to walk across a fence and really butt heads with somebody. They didn't need a lawyer to do it. They didn't need an agent or a publicity person. They did it themselves. I think John is frustrated because he's cut from that same cloth. But when he makes those moves, those can become problems for him. And politics is about to overrun him.
Where have you been?
Keeping my promise.
Which promise is this?
The one where I swore to destroy anything that hurts you.
How is Beth and John teaming up this season?
She's a one of a kind, and and she's impossible to control. But her loyalty is so strong for her father that even in her wildest moments, she can think clearly. So she comes at things from a different angle than John. And John, at his core, if you boil him down, he is a rancher.
Now, heading into season 5, she is a married woman. Will that soften her at all?
No.
She's still a tornado?
No, she's, you know, I mean, he even admits that that's the part that he maybe even envies, is that she's so wild and so free. It's frustrating, it's sometimes embarrassing, it's trouble, but on the other hand, you know, he envies that kind of freedom. You know, maybe she will lose a wild streak, but she just doesn't seem to.
What do you think it is about the relationship between John and Beth that makes it one of the most unique father-daughter relationships that we've seen on TV?
She has a guilt about something. That was also the love of his life, his wife. But he's never laid that on her in any way. It's also, she's my daughter, and there's mystical bonds between, you know, you can have children and they can love you, but they're not, you know, the bonds that they share. And, you know, there comes a moment where you raise a child and you're tying their shoes and you're getting them in the car and you're doing everything. And then their first moment they try to explain to you how a computer works, you realize, oh, they're teaching me something. You know, Beth is at this point where if she can concentrate long enough about what's the problem is, she can usually come up with a solve.
We're also in this very interesting situation heading into season 5 where essentially John and Beth have blackmail over Jamie now and kind of own him.
Right.
What would you want to see happen with Jamie? Could you see him falling in good graces with John again?
Probably the show would end. You know, there'd be nothing to play against. You know, I don't like drama in my own life personally. I don't like it. You know, some people seem to thrive on drama. I don't really like it. So my dysfunctional family really disturbs me. I can walk away from it. We're not always privy to where the story's going, quite honestly.
Do it. All right, I'll start making calls.
You know, Taylor has actually told me that he knows how Yellowstone ends. Do you know?
No, I don't know how it ends.
Would you want to know?
Yeah, kind of.
You want to know?
Yeah. I'm going to end it if it doesn't end.
How long do you,
I don't know, but I'll go till I'm not interested. I'll go till it doesn't feel like we're interesting. And right now we have our foot on the gas, and that feels okay to me. I have interests that are outside of, you know, everything I do, including the movies. So I have other things that I will want to do.
What is next for you?
I don't know. I just feel like, listen, when I was younger, I grew up in such a conservative way. You know, I actually thought the world was flat. You know, I mean, I didn't know what was possible for me. The way I came up with a really good foundation, but I didn't, you know, I thought there was a lot that I needed to learn. There's a lot that I still need to learn. You know, what will I regret when I do leave, you know, shuffle off? You know, it's probably the books I'll never have read, and the songs I'll never have heard, the stories, you know. There's stuff left.